Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to another episode of New Music Finds, where I like to collect together all the different things that I purchased over the past week and present it to you guys, give you a little bit of background about why I chose to pick this stuff up and maybe turn you on to some stuff along the way. Hopefully that'll all take place. I've got 12 things here to go through with you guys. I got some cool stuff, things that were ordered, things that picked up at the store, some things that were sent to me that were really cool. So a lot of great stuff to dive into, and we'll do that here in just a bit. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things do help support my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, if you turn on notifications, you're gonna stay up to date on everything going on in the world of music, at least here on this channel, starting with this New Music Find. So I like to kick off with new releases. We're gonna do that. This is actually one from maybe a week or two back. Keel World, or I should say it's really Ron Keel releasing Keel World. But the cool thing about this album, it's got something from all of his different projects, but it's new stuff, right? So on the back side is where we have the tracks itself. We get kick off with a solo song from Ron Keel. Then we move into Ron Keel Band. Then third track on here is a brand new Keel song, which they haven't done anything in, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years or something. And this one here called Moving Target. So first new song since Streets of Rock and Roll, I think was their last album. Following that, we move back to the Ron Keel Band. But after that, we have a new song from Steeler. So no Yngwie Malmsteen on this recording, but we get some of the guys back in here, ripping it up, doing some great stuff. That song is called Give Me Guitars or Give Me Death. We've got more from Ron Keel Band. We've also got Iron Horse, the Southern Rock Project. We've got Ronnie Lee Keel when he went full on country. Some of that's on here. And then we've got Emerald Sabbath, a Black Sabbath tribute group that he's done. And Ron Keel at one time was fronting Black Sabbath. They never recorded together. I think it was a very short-lived thing. Didn't work out in the end of the day. But if you ever wanted to hear what Ron Keel would have sounded like doing Black Sabbath, check out Emerald Sabbath, of which they've got a track on here, Children of the Grave. And then the last thing on here is a solo acoustic song, Last Bottle on Earth, which was previously released as a single about a year back. And at that point, at least, it didn't have a home, but now it does on this album. So very cool if you're a fan of all the different eras and ventures and things that Ron Keel has done over his career. This is for you, but also if you want some brand new Keel, some brand new Steeler, stuff like that. And I'm really digging the Ron Keel Band and the two albums that they've done. So Keel World, that is out now. You can check that out. This next one, new band called Dark Mile, self-titled release. I didn't know anything about it. I was putting together the What Just Dropped episode for you guys, where I basically pull all the new stuff and then do a little research to try to figure out what it is. And thank goodness I did, because this band here features Tracy G, the guitar player who once played with Ronnie James Dio in his band, doing the album Angry Machines, which I always really liked, and Strange Highways, which was really just like a full-on Black Sabbath sounding album. But Tracy G, an amazing guitar player, and he's done stuff after that, but it was always a little heavier stuff that I couldn't get into. This is back to him sounding like the hard rock metal side of things with the Ronnie James Dio era of stuff. And now for vocals on here, he's got Mark Huff. And Mark Huff once sang for Quiet Riot. They never recorded together, but when Quiet Riot was trying to continue on after the passing of original frontman Kevin Dubrow, Mark Huff was one of those guys that they brought in, and I always really liked him. It didn't work out. He moved on before recording anything, and now I can finally hear what he sounds like fronting for this band. And this is just good straight ahead hard rock, but when you listen to it, you can totally hear why Mark was selected to sing for Quiet Riot, because he's got that sort of style of gravelly vocal style like Kevin Dubrow did. But I love having something with Tracy G on it. So that was a cool find. That was my favorite thing to surprise me and pop up from last week. So I picked that up. And then you guys saw a while back, I did a full review of this Alan Parsons Project Pyramid box set from the Cooking Vinyl label. And it doesn't come out until August 23rd, but I already talked about it. I'm going to leave a link in the description for it, but they now sent me the standalone single disc copy of it, which does have some bonus material on it. But one of the things that I talked a lot about and was really blown away by this box set was the 2024 remaster of it. Not a remix, anything like that. It's just a remaster, but it sounded so good, so much better than the current remaster that was out, which I already had as a standalone disc. So when they asked if they could send me this one here, I said, absolutely, please do. I'll include it here in my New Music Finds episode because it is so good. I highly, highly recommend at a minimum. Pick this up, even if you got multiple copies of it. The sound on this is so good. It is totally worth it just for that. But, you know, it's a really nicely done packaging. It's got a great book in it with a smaller, shortened story version of what appears in here. So, all in all, this has the meat and potatoes of everything, and I do recommend that. Ended up really loving it, but this here too, just glad to have a single disc copy of it in the collection. So those are the new things that I picked up. Not a lot of new stuff, but I got some other great stuff. And one of the cool things is that I had a musician reach out to me, Scott Oliva, not related to John Oliva, Chris Oliva of Savatage, that happens to have that name. And he wanted to send me a copy of their new album, and the band is Inner Strength. And this album here, Daydreaming in Moonlight, and I really like it. I don't know if it's a sticker or not, but they do have special slip in artwork there, and you can see the reflectivity of it there, which is kind of a cool thing. And when he reached out to me, I thought, you know, I think I've heard of this band Inner Strength, but I'm not entirely sure. Went and checked it out, really liked it. They had a debut album back in 1993 called Shadow Reflections, not in print any longer. But he mentioned, hey, I'll send along some other stuff as well. And so these are the albums that I had previously seen. This one here called Within the Dream. And then this one here, Beyond Tomorrow. And The Common Theme, third one. So all of these focus on additional recordings, sessions, things like that from around the debut. And so in terms of the order of this stuff, if I can get these in the right order, there we go. You know, around the time of the debut, then around the time of them trying to record a second album, and around the time later after that period. But all of these, so this is 95, 96, this is 92, 93, around the debut, and this is 91. This is demos that led to it, I guess, is the way that that goes. So vocal styling, very high style vocaling on here. I would, you know, say that this band reminds me a lot of early Queensryche, both the progressive nature, but also the Jeff Tate style vocals on it. This later album, not as much, but I really, really enjoyed it and took to it, and maybe even like this better, but I got these for Inner Strength albums from Scott Oliva, sending them to me. So thank you very much, Scott. I'm enjoying these. And for you guys watching, I would highly recommend going and checking this band out. These releases that I showed you guys that he sent along that cover the different sessions and stuff is on Dive Bomb Records. So easily you can pick those up. They are a great label that has gone back and is reissuing a lot of thrash metal stuff from the late 80s, early 90s that ran under the radar. It deserves more attention. So I very much like the Dive Bomb label and was glad to see that. And this too, their newest one out on Dive Bomb Records as well. So cool to see that Dive Bomb is not only doing the reissues, but doing the new stuff. And along with that, sending that catalog there, he did include some of his other projects. I don't know how readily available these are. Hopefully you can head over to his website, check this stuff out. Certainly check out Inner Strength's website. But Oceans of Night, and this album here called Midnight Rising, and then the Nightmare Stage, which is a very sort of theatrical thing, even more so than the Queensryche sounding stuff that they already do, called When the Curtain clashes? Closes? I don't know. It's written a little weird. Let me read it on the side. I think it's when the curtain closes, but just it's how it's lettered. It's a little hard for me to read. But there's that, and then 2 releases from Reverence. So we've got this one here, studio album, and then a live album. All projects that have Scott Oliva singing for the band itself. But yeah, Inner Strength, definitely recommend checking that out. Can't say enough nice things about them. I have really enjoyed that and will be a fan of theirs certainly going forward. Something else that I picked up, apparently it's been out for a while, but I don't know, it kind of ran under the radar for me. 2019, this came out, a Neat Records compilation, just simply the best of Neat Records being known for all the new wave of British heavy metal stuff that they released. And so 20 tracks on here. It is a digipack, but it's just filled with cool amounts of art. It also has this patch that it comes with. And then the booklet that's in here has all kinds of great information on every single song and release in the new wave of British heavy metal. But it does go a track by track in here on it, and it's just killer stuff. So I've got a number of Neat Records compilations, and some are better than others, and some Neat Records stuff, some new wave of British heavy metal stuff like the Venom, the more black metal style stuff I don't really get into, so sometimes that breaks the flow of those kind of albums. This one here does not have any Venom on it, but everything that is on here, really good stuff that I like. It's got Raven, it's got White Spirit, which has Janet Gears, who would go on to Iron Maiden. It's got Fist, it has Blitzkrieg on here, known for Metallica covering the song itself, Blitzkrieg. Very underrated band called Argon is on here, Bitches Sin, Jaguar, Persian Risk that has Carl Sentence, who currently singing with the Don Airy Band, but also Nazareth. We've got Cloven Hoof, Hellenbach, which was a real guitar flare sounding band, supposed to have been sort of the next Eddie Van Halen style music. Black Rose, which just had an album reissued. So it's really cool stuff on it. I'd highly recommend this if you're looking for a nice, succinct one album collection for a new wave of British heavy metal bands. That one, very good. I picked that up. Been continuing on with my Whitesnake catalog, replacing albums with the new remastered versions of Saints and Sinners. Picked this up. This album, of course, known for having Crying in the Rain, Here I Go Again, both re-recorded for their 1987 self-titled release. But these are the original versions. I think that album is 1982. Just got this one in the mail, haven't opened it yet. Ready and Willing, probably my favorite of the early era stuff, known for having Full for Your Loving, which would be later recovered again by the band with Slip of the Tongue in 1989. And this I ended up going for Silver Anniversary, and one of the reasons I chose to pick this up, it is a double disc, and I don't generally like double disc compilations, but this one here covers all three, Whitesnake, David Coverdale solo, and Coverdale Page. So the 3 things that David Coverdale has been a part of is all part of this compilation, spanning 78 to 2003. And it's got early versions, like it's got the original Full for Your Love and not the re-recorded, but then we've got some of the re-recordings, so a little bit of everything for the band, live stuff on here as well, and just a cool thing. But to hear Coverdale Page next to Whitesnake, next to solo material, just puts a whole new spin on it for me. So I've really been enjoying it. And this was done at the same time as these other remasters that are available. And so when I talked about how great the quality of these are, this here sounds amazing. And so some of that stuff hasn't been remastered for him, like the Coverdale Page has never gotten a remastering, and some of the solo stuff the same way. But to get that, so I've really been enjoying it. Okay, and then I got a hold of one of the box sets that I talked to you about recently in the What Just Dropped series. So finding this one here, TKO, Total Knockout, called the Complete TKO, having 5 albums inside here. And so you get the 3 albums that the band was known for. So Let It Roll, which is 1979. This is a Dive Bomb Records reissue that I already had of it. And then there's a 1979 set of demos in here that was intended for the second album that didn't happen. There's the image of it right there. Before they would do their third album, In Your Face, that we would know the band for, but this didn't come out until 5 years after, in 84, so 79 to 84, 5 years in there. Very different sounding style band by that point, and then followed up, I think it's 86, with Below the Belt. So that's included in here. But Below the Belt in this box also includes Suicide Squad, which is the post TKO project. There's 4 songs on here, which is sort of the bridge to where the lead singer Brad Sinsel would go, War Babies. So any of you guys out there that are glam metal fanatics, if you don't know War Babies, check it out. Check out the first song, Hang Me Up. That was the lead single. But Brad Sinsel comes from TKO. This also has in here as the 5th disc, the In Your Face early mixes. So early mixes of that 1984 album, 5 CDs and all, plus booklet. Very, very cool. Glad to get a hold of that. And there you go. Those are all the things that I picked up or got sent to me during this time frame. Hopefully you guys found some new stuff within it, or maybe it just reminded you that you got some TKO, or you got this fantastic War Babies on your shelf. You want to go grab those and listen to them. But all in all, cool stuff. Hope you dig it. Check it out, and certainly check out my channel. Stick around on it and see what other things I got going on. I've just recently posted a Led Zeppelin album ranking. I know, I can't believe I never did one before, but I hadn't. So I got that up and going, and I got one up for Great White, and great tribute on there for Jack Russell. Been listening to a lot of Jack Russell and Great White following his passing on August 15th. Just a super sad thing there, but definitely enjoying all the wonderful music that he gave us. All right, everyone, take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you real soon.